he would send me these really demeaning, berating emails at 2 o'clock in the morning. I'd wake up in the morning and my stomach would feel like it's about to turn. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the show. Today I want to talk about something that people don't often talk about, which is internship horror stories. So everyone wants to talk about how great their internship is. It's like you go on LinkedIn, everybody is working at Amazon, Facebook, Google, and you're sitting here like, okay, I got this one internship and there's some really sketchy stuff going on here. Why am I the only one? So I'm going to share one of my stories. I actually have quite a few stories here, but I'm going to share one of my stories. I talked about my first internship in a different episode. And although it wasn't glamorous, it got me my first software engineering job. My first software engineering job, I was really unsure of myself. If somebody was to challenge me on something, I wouldn't really push back because I didn't know what I didn't know. When I first started working for him, my first day, he assigned 17 tasks to me. 17, like basically just transferred everything the old intern had to me. And so I thought, all right, well, this is probably what I'll be working on for the term. Turns out it wasn't. Every single day I came in, there was a new fire to put out. But he also expected me to burn down the 17 tasks I was given on the first day. So basically what would happen is I would finally finish one of those tasks and, bump it down to 16, and then he would stack on 2 more, and now it's up to 19. It felt like every time I took 1 step forward, it was 2 steps back. And so he had this tendency to be super unorganized, and every day I would come in, it would be a new task. It would be like, drop everything you're doing and do this right now. But I'm still going to hold you accountable for the things that you didn't have time to do. So I ended up working till, at least 8 p.m. every single night. 8 p.m. was actually early to go home. Sometimes I was there past midnight. I didn't feel like it made me a better developer, and I don't think it made me more productive. There was times where, you're so burnt out because you've been at the office remember one time it was Thursday. I just gotten home and I looked at the clock and realized I'd worked a 50-hour week and it was only Thursday. There was just so much to do all the time. And, normally that's not the end of the world. You have a lot of work to do. You can do the work. I remember he would send me these really demeaning, berating emails at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I always felt sick. I'd wake up in the morning and my stomach would feel like it's about to turn, and I would, refresh my email, just waiting to see an email from him that's telling me that I'm like a horrible developer and I'm, I'm hopeless and all this kind of stuff. And this is real. This actually happened to me. One time in particular I thought was particularly pretty bad was he was working on a new feature, but he wasn't quite sure if this feature would work or not. He thought that, if he merged it in, it could break things in a major way, but he didn't want to get blamed for it. So he took all of his code, he packaged it up in a zip file, he emailed it to me, had me unpack it on my computer and check it in to our code repository. And the reason he did that was because if it passed, he could say that he did it. And if it failed, he could show, hey, look, this was the intern. The intern screwed up. And I think that was really, and if that happened to me now, I would stop and I'd be like, come on, really? You're not doing this to me. But when you're an intern, you think that your employer has all the power. I think you have more power than you realize. So I was under the impression, I'll just put up with it because I'll eventually get out of this. And if I just shut up and put my head down and do what he says and work, 80 hours a week and, let him berate me at emails at 2 o'clock in the morning, then at the end of this, I'll get a good rating and I can just move on with my life. And what ended up happening was I chatted with another manager there, and the other manager knew exactly the kind of person my manager was. He has seen it a million times before. So I was good friends with that manager, and he made sure that I got a good rating. I got the second highest rating at the job. Had it been up to my manager, I'm sure I would have gotten one of the lowest ratings. Now, if I could go back and redo that entire thing again, what would I do differently? I think instead of offhandedly chatting with a different manager, I would have gone directly to my boss's boss and said, look, there's something seriously wrong with this system, because if you treat interns like this, you'll get none of them returning for full-time. And none of them have returned for full-time. I wouldn't go back there to save my life. I send people away from it every single time it comes up. And it might not necessarily be a bad company in total. It might just be that one manager. But if one manager is representing the company like that to interns, it's really important that the management know, because they don't want that. They want people coming back as interns. They want interns coming back as full-times. So if I could go back, I'd go to my boss's boss and be more sure of myself and tell him that directly. I was pretty lucky that the manager I talked to was kind of already aware of my situation and made sure that I got a good rating. In closing, I just want to say, like, not every internship is fantastic, and I'm sure you're not going to get one as bad as mine. Like, that was a completely one-off case. I've never seen anything kind of like quite like that. But in closing, I think you need to be really sure of yourself. You know, don't let people take advantage of you just because you're the intern. And I think if something's going wrong, if something feels wrong, it's probably wrong. And what I would do is go to your boss's boss. Because while you're an intern, you have a lot more leverage than you think you do, because companies do want you to come back as full-time. I just wanted to share that story with you guys. I wanted you guys to see, you know, every side there is to internships. It's not all fantastic. Sometimes you get a bad one. I hope you never have to experience what I did. But anyway, that's all I have for today. Thank you guys so much for joining, and I will see you in the next episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe to see more content just like this. Thanks.